What's going on? So, basically, I want to discuss some things. Uh, Someone just sent me a text message and it was funny. But I wanted to talk about sexual energy and what I think about it and about masturbation. Some people call it FAP, no nut, no FAP, fapping, whatever, semen retention. And I guess there's a lot of esoteric knowledge on this. And we got a lot of people on YouTube talking about this too. And I'm just going to say from my experience, I've heard from other people's experience too, and all of this makes sense, logical sense, and it all comes down to really how you want to maintain your life and what situations you want to adapt to. But I'm going to give first of all my two experiences. So that's what I'm base everything off of every time I speak anyway, unless I say otherwise. But here we go. My first one was when I fasted and starved myself, which I was already starving, and I didn't eat for 6 days, and I was already starving, and yeah, and I probably fasting before that, and super about to die basically. But I know when I did fast some days, and even when at the time I was starving and just not healthy, pretty much not healthy and unhealthy, and the chronic fatigue I had from the vegan diet and all that, because it was fine, but when symptoms come, they hit you and you don't know. I mean, now you know what I mean. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Yeah, you don't know though unless you were a doctor or you're raised around that stuff. Anyways, I'm definitely feeling better. My energy's more up. And what I was getting at is when I did that fast and didn't eat for 6 days and I was already starving beforehand, the last thing I did was wanted to have sex. Last thing, and I don't know why that comes to mind. What do you mean? Like, it just felt like it was gonna take all my. I felt like the only energy that I had, most of my energy was in my nut sack, like down there, the energy, and I just felt like that's all I had. Because when I did this water fast, I walked 20 miles, a lot of miles in one day, and I did it like twice, not 20 miles. One day was 20 miles, another one was like +10 on a water fast, and I was already starving. More so, my mouth was dry when I was drinking the water. So it would just make me drier and drier and drier. I wasn't even going to do the water fast because of this. But I realized I didn't want sex at all. I was starving, and it was like the last thing. Um, Another time that I realized that I just realized, over times, when you have sex, whether it's sex or masturbation, sex is a little different. We'll get there, but I guess we'll just talk about masturbation or just coming, whatever it is, semen retention. Women, on the other hand, I will say this as a note right now, women have a different structure and they can come more and have sex more and basically have more pleasure. That's just how it is. But what I'm talking mainly, it works both for sexes for sure. But men can't discharge as much as they get older because apparently from all the ancient knowledge and hysteric knowledge, as you get older, you have less sex. Basically, that's basically how it is. But that's not to say, there's always things around that. What diet are you following? How you live your life? How much sex do you had? And I think the key to here, what we're really coming out is moderation between all these things because we have a lot of exotic things. We're put into sex, especially Disney and Hollywood. How these people do these things, and especially there's rapists, there's people who exploit for money, and Disney maybe shows and channels and things along this lines, and pedophiles, and we got people just not even raised right, maybe not a pedophile or a rapist or a murderer or maybe, but we got all these things. Now, what I really want to get at is it's just like when you use your energy, you got to use it in some way. So, sexual energy is actually the strongest energy. And what I'm ultimately getting at is whenever you expend this energy, which is coming or orgasming, basically, once you orgasm, because you can do stuff without orgasming for the male. And it works both ways, like I said, for the female, but more so, but particularly, I'm referring to the male in this pacification, and you lose energy. I know. I know you lose energy, and I've tested a couple times and got to experiment. you lose energy when you do it. It's just a known fact. Your basically your sexual thing is it's your life force. And I could talk about a bunch of things. How I read like 48 Laws of Power by Robert Greene, and there's a lady in there. She was a queen or got to a queen, and how she always flirted with all the guys, but never got with any guys, or I don't even think had sex. But she always kept her status because she could never lose it. Because people are always fighting for statuses, especially back then and until today. But if you could draw a bunch of guys in, especially for a woman, draw a bunch of guys in and never get with any of them, but show them you're interested and keep luring them and leading them on, you're forever in that position. You hold a position of lure, basically. And that's kind of how it is. Like if you don't have sex at all, even sex, if you don't have sex, basically, like you just increase your power, your stamina, your energy, pretty much your life force, your creativity, pretty much your feminine side, basically. And it's both. It's just like an increase of energy. Your energy increases from down below, then it goes up. We're basically just like a totem pole, or like an Eiffel Tower, or like an electric tower, or a pyramid, however you want to. We're all the same thing. That's how our figure is kind of made. And this is how the energy transfers. It goes down and it goes up and it goes up and it's down. Same thing when you eat. Anytime you eat, no matter what you eat, energy is going to go down. But I will say if you eat raw food, you don't go down as much, and it depends on how your body is and things like that. Some people are not going to notice what age are they, what's their health, what's their activity like, and metabolism, and so on and so on. What place in the world they're at. When we talk about sex, though, you will lose energy whether you discharge yourself or with someone else, whatever it is. And just, but it's not good to hold it in for super long either. People say, like, I've heard other things, you hold it in for years, don't have sex or anything, celibate, like people, why you don't get married, why you don't have sex till you get married, Amish people, then we got the people in India who don't have sex, and things among this line, maybe cultures or religious beliefs. But when it comes down to it, we do have a natural instinct for the other. Now, it's not to waste it, and the world's kind of departed from nature, some of it, depending on where you live and what you stay. Love is the strongest connection, and so is intimacy in a way. Everything is sacred in its own way, but this is one of the strongest powers, energies, is your sexual energy. That's why you got to use it right and not waste it. Though you can waste it if you want to, and you can use it. Some people are going to experiment. Some people are going to be, they don't know. Some people are going to teach themselves. Sometimes other people are going to teach them and let them know. Some people are going to overcome something, maybe addiction. And this is another thing I like to talk about real quick too, this whole process, because I'm talking about everything, is when you don't have something for like a week or two, and I know this, like let's say you don't have sex for a week or two, or masturbate or something, or any sexual activity you'd engage in, you don't, it's easy, like if you do it, you constantly drive it more. Like if you don't have sex for a while, it's kind of like you don't need sex for a while. But if you do have sex, it's like you want it, you want it, you want it, you crave it. I notice this. So I'm just giving all this, I'm just spreading a message. Um, whether you're gay, bi, whatever, polygamy, religious things, never even had sex, virgin. Your energy is really good. Someone who's never had sex before, never even came, had an orgasm, they probably, they're building up energies. And just think about it. This is something to think about too. Just beyond sex and beyond the drugs and even beyond the money and even health in general, for the most part. When you look at a kid, for the most part, a healthy kid, look at them. How are they? They're always happy. They're not having sex. They're probably not doing drugs, but they're just so happy and ecstatic. And that's how the natural human being should be. That's how a human naturally is. Just like an animal. Animal gets right out of bed and goes. It's not up and it's not foggy and it's not groggy. Maybe once in a blue moon or something, but definitely not an animal for the most part, unless it's sick, as you can see. So we need to, heal ourselves, and we just need to look at better options and not exploit ourselves. Or, maybe I'd never done this, but I'm just saying I know there's people out there who are addicted to pornography or DVDs, or just sex in general, like lust. And that's one of the that is probably the most strong and dominant force, is actual, sex, pretty much sexual energy. So it's really intense. We're definitely not taught about it. We're not taught about a lot of things, if anything, you could say. This energies we know should definitely be taught about, and it's kind of people run rampant about it, kind of go on rampage about it, and they waste their energies when they're young, but they could spread it out, and that's what I'm really getting at. Moderate. Why do I keep on saying moderation? Moderation. It's just a weird how it comes off. Moderation. When we talk about this, you want to spread your lifespan out and spread the good times out, not just have them all at one time. That being said, if you're meant to be a prostitute, a stripper, a hooker, a sex addict, if that's what you want to do, then for all be it, I support you. But I just want you to know this energy could be the best of you, or it could be the worst. Like everything in life is a double-edged sword. Like I have nothing against bud, but it could like weed, marijuana, but it could be THC. It could be the worst thing for you. It could be the best thing for someone else. It could heal. Where marijuana can heal someone else, and then it can destroy someone else. And while maybe that's as we talk about this active substance paraphernalia, it may not be as damaging as you think it is, or it may not be damaging, which is very true. But stuff adds up over time. Every minute, every step, everything you think, and it's not good. I don't want to say it's not good to think, but you're not really supposed to be thinking all the time. You more so thoughtless, and this brings about this is just a natural human being and spirit. So yeah, just be wary of your energy and how you feel. Like whether you took anything from this video, how do you feel after sex, whatever, or after you do something to yourself? Do you feel good and then it goes down, or do you feel steady good, or is it perfect, or do you just feel like you're weary and you lost a bunch of energy and you want to go to sleep? It's usually different for males, and this is why I'm saying this, but it works both ways. But males, like I said, over time have to do less, and it's about more so orgasm, and when you orgasm is when you lose the actual energy. And like I said from the beginning, if I didn't say it at the beginning, sex or sexual energy is the most attracting thing, and it's the most powerful energy. But when we talk about attracting, it is an allure, and it is an attraction, and it is lust, and it's kind of like meant to happen. But we that's the thing. We humans, this is what makes the human being different from an animal. Though we are animals or mammals, this makes us really different. Is we can discern things. We can discern things from one another, such as like this and that. Like this is this phone and this is that phone. We just have that power, that intellect, intuition, and that's what we can do. So we can be like, even though we are getting super horny or something, or maybe we can't control it, we can control it or use energy in a different way. This is discerning what's almost good from bad, in a sense. And that's all I want to say. Just be aware of your sexual energy, what's going on, how you feel after an experience, how someone else makes you feel maybe during any situation, and how things are brought about. Just really tune into this, because a lot of the things that we never learned in school, which they didn't teach us anything, and you kind of learn later in life, but this should be taught very young, and people still never learn, which is fine. Is this energy is very valuable, and we should be taught at a very young age about this thing, because people aren't teaching anymore. No one knows anything anymore. Not saying that I understand, you don't know anything, which, yeah, to some degree, but there's knowledge to pass down to people from cultures, maybe traditions, or just wise tales, or even stories, or just fun. But even so, certain sacred things, what do you want to say, ancient, these are words that make it, give it high profile, prolific type of feel to it, but it's not. It's like everything that the pyramids, the ancient pyramids, and how the times were before. Maybe there were aliens before, dinosaurs before, the world looked different before. It was all the jungle before. There was no Antarctica. It doesn't even matter, because we're living in the same era. We're living in pretty much the same age. Things do change slowly but surely, which actually probably happens fast, but you got to understand, we're living in the same time as the dinosaurs, the same thing as the pyramids. It's not as far as it was, and even if it was, we're still on the same land, the same energy field. It might have shifted in ways, but we're still here. So it's up to you to be aware. Things aren't as ancient and sacred as you think they are. There's lies and hidden truths they haven't told you. And the book, I can feel it in my bones. That's how I know when I tell the truth. But you heard about them burning the Alexander Library, and You know, you've always heard about wars, because that's what they want to teach you in school is war, 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 business, stabbing people in the back, treating, disrespecting people for the most part, conformity, and industrialization, and yeah, that's what I was gonna say, industrialization in the industry. This is the school for the most part is an industrialized thing. Religion is industry too, because it is, especially when we talk about Christian and the way people are in America. I highly agree. It's a business. It's a scam. Everything is a scam. Everyone wants your money. Now we can look beyond this, but when I get to the root of it, I would say it's a scam. But what I'm getting at, I know what I'm getting at. What I'm getting at, it's just they don't teach. They, there's a lot of lies, a lot of knowledge they don't want you to know. There's a lot of stuff they've burned. Books. Like I was talking about the Alexandria libraries. Why would so? Who in the right mind wants to go burn? Back then, maybe one of the only libraries and a famous library. Why would they burn? Like good people wouldn't go burn a library. That's what I'm just saying. I'm not gonna put it against them that good people want to do that, but it wouldn't be a bad library, and there'd be bad people burning a good library. It just wouldn't make sense for good people to burn a good library, or good people to burn an evil library. Because I mean, I guess, but it's not going to be an evil library. It just wouldn't make sense. It would be more hidden, low key, more underground, probably, maybe in the air, but more so underground or in a mountain. You know what I mean? Or just hidden. And that's what I'm getting at. So, and I know I understand the library was just one thing, but it's more than that. It's just more knowledge, a lot of knowledge. See the knowledge that we're giving for the most part. Now we have internet access. See, and this is what I was talking about, the whole Rona and everything. They kind of like slipped up in a way you wouldn't think, and it's hard to go into detail about it. But they exposed themselves. They were trying to get too far ahead, but we all know any civilization eventually falls, and we are falling, but we're falling forward. We're propelling forward. The nation is falling. It's coming to an end. But better things are coming. It's so true, and it's always been like this. But we can change it. It can be better, and we can come together and do different things and alert each other. We have such things as media and way to contact people. It's accessible, and the mobility of it, and we can connect people, whether we're censored or shadowed or banned, whatever it is, even put down or hated or you judge. We can still talk, and that's the era we're in, pretty much. A lot of access, instant access to a lot of things. So be controlled. Be wary. See how things make you feel. Listen to your gut. Live your life. Thanks for tuning in. Just wanted to talk about the most powerful energy, sexual energy. Subscribe to the channel.